Welcome back to Courtroom Chronicles. Today's case is packed with drama, emotion, and some jaw-dropping lessons in personal responsibility. We've got not one, but two defendants facing the court. First, a woman accused of keying her ex's car after an emotional breakup, and then, a separate case involving unauthorized use of a vehicle. Now, don't let the simple charges fool you. These cases reveal much deeper truths about relationships, accountability, and how the justice system balances punishment with rehabilitation. Stick around, because you'll hear shocking explanations, a fiery reality check from the judge, and even some surprisingly wise life lessons, including one about orchids that you definitely don't want to miss. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong, and what can we all learn from it? Let's break it down.
If somebody is cheating on you, you have two choices to make. One, you either accept it and confront them and say, hey, you're cheating on me. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 01093, State versus Samantha Gadarama. Counsel, in the box. Y'all need to move it down to the other end. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 010930, State versus Samantha Gadarama. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Yeah.
Defense?
Kayla Dietrich for Samantha Guadarrama.
And are you Samantha Guadarrama?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
Yes.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea bargain agreement on January 6th. According to the plea, punishment is be assessed at $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $6,292.70.
Right away, notice how the judge zeroes in on restitution, over $6,000 already paid back to the victim. That's huge, because restitution is often the most critical factor in sentencing. Courts prioritize making victims whole again, and the fact that this was paid before the hearing weighs heavily in Samantha's favor. But remember, just because restitution is covered doesn't erase the underlying offense. In the eyes of the law, intent and actions still matter. Do you think paying restitution should reduce someone's punishment, or should the crime itself carry equal weight regardless?
Since to Mitchell McCain, it's the court's understanding that that amount has been paid. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say?
No, ma'am.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Samantha Guadarrama.
All right, so why are you keying this guy's car?
It was mistake, and it was
This is an important teaching moment. Samantha tries to frame keying a car as a mistake, but the judge calls it out immediately. There's a big difference between an accident, like grabbing the wrong umbrella, and a deliberate act of destruction. This distinction matters legally because intent is a cornerstone of criminal responsibility. If something is done on purpose, the consequences are far more severe. The judge's blunt reaction highlights that honesty matters. When defendants minimize their actions, it usually backfires. What do you think? Should courts be harsher when defendants try to spin their story?
What's a mistake? A mistake is you take somebody's umbrella thinking that it's yours because they're both black umbrellas. Keying somebody's car is not a mistake. So why are you keying the car?
I was being taunted by my ex about our situation, that we were separating, and he was sending me videos and pictures of just other women and in our own, like in our home that we lived together during that time and during that night.
That's not what the police report says. The police report I'm reading says that the victim in O1 returned from a night out and the victim parked his vehicle in the driveway of O1's residence. While at O1's residence, O1 received an alert on his video camera. O1 looked at his video camera and observed his ex-girlfriend in the driveway of his residence. O1 was speaking with D1 through the camera, you're D1, and D1 believed that another female was at the location as D1 believed the victim's vehicle which was parked in the driveway, belonged to a female. Victim in O1 continued watching the video camera and observed D1 walking around victim's vehicle, keying victim's vehicle in the process. This is what I don't understand.
This part is striking. The judge addresses a cultural pattern. Why, in cases of infidelity, does anger often get directed at the other woman instead of the unfaithful partner? Legally, this insight doesn't change the sentence, but it adds moral weight to the ruling. The court isn't just punishing property damage, it's challenging destructive behavior patterns. Notice how the judge frames choices: accept the cheating, or leave. But violence, destruction, or revenge is never a lawful option. That's a lesson bigger than this case. Viewers, let me ask, in a situation like this, what would you have done differently?
So it says in here that you thought that was a female's vehicle.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
understand why women think that other women owe them any type of loyalty. Why is the go-to for women when they think somebody's cheating on them? Well, let me attack the female. You shouldn't be attacking anybody, honestly. But I don't know why there's this thing, let's destroy the female's vehicle. Maybe he don't want you anymore. Or maybe he wants you and the other female. If that's the case, you have choices to make. Either you're going to stay with him and accept the fact that he's cheating on you, or either you're going to leave him. The choice should never be, let me key his car or key the female's car. It's never going to turn out good. Now, I see that you have a son and a daughter. How would you feel if your son ends up dating someone and they become an ex-girlfriend and they won't let go and they end up keying his car? You lose your mind. So here you are out keying somebody's car who doesn't want you, obviously. No, I mean, that's yes or no. Do you understand that?
Yes, I did.
And so you went to jail?
I did.
And how long were you in jail?
That night,
All right, well, how long did you stay in jail till you paid this off, though?
that day on January, when I was at court for like 3 days, I believe.
Here's where it gets real. The judge frames Samantha's actions not just as a crime, but as a failure to ward her children. Spending 3 days in jail over an ex shows misplaced priorities, loving a man more than her kids, as the judge bluntly puts it. That's a hard truth. Courts often connect personal choices to family responsibilities, because ultimately, children bear the impact of their parents' mistakes. And remember, deferred adjudication is meant to give people a second chance, but it only works if they actually change. Do you agree with the judge's tough love approach here?
Right, so that's 3 days you spent away from your children because you love a man more than your children. Whenever you make these stupid decisions, what ends up happening is that shows that you're loving this man more than your children. You can't do that. Have you had any contact with him?
No, I love him.
All right, so do you have any children with him?
No, I do not.
All right, so you better not contact him. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That relationship is over. You don't have any property with him. You don't have any children with him, so there's no need to contact him. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you do for a living?
Part-time.
All right. And have you started dating again?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's a good thing.
This may sound unusual at first, but the orchid analogy is powerful. The judge recommends buying an orchid to teach patience and discipline before entering another relationship. Why? Because tending an orchid requires consistent care, attention, and self-control, qualities essential to healthy relationships. Judges sometimes use metaphors like this to connect on a personal level, beyond just legal consequences. It's not just about punishment, but about growth. What do you think? Is this kind of advice effective in court, or should judges stick strictly to sentencing? Personally, I think it's brilliant.
You're going to have to get an orchid. And I tell everybody this who have relationships problems, because orchids teach patience. They have some beautiful orchids out at the HEB. I just saw some when I went there. I'm like, wow, they're so beautiful. They're in bloom. You need to get that orchid. They're inexpensive. I think they have a coupon too, so it's less expensive. Get that orchid and keep that orchid. And it comes with directions. Read up on it, how to care for it. And once those leaves fall off, if you can get that same orchid to bloom again without losing your patience, then you'll be ready for relationships. Because with orchids, you can read those instructions like it says indirect sunlight, you put it in indirect sunlight. Next thing you know, the leaves are burning. Somebody's like 3 ice cubes. Then you learn, nope, it doesn't take 3 ice cubes. So I don't tell people to get orchids to be flippant. It's just that orchids require patience and care. And that's the same thing with relationships. And if somebody is cheating on you, you have 2 choices to make. One, you either accept it and confront them and say, hey, you're cheating on me. And then their choice is to continue to cheat or either say, all right, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. But those are your choices. Your choice is not to go and key some car because then you end up here. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. There should be 3 years deferred adjudication.
Now pay attention. Here's where the sentence is handed down. Samantha gets 3 years deferred adjudication, community service, anger management, parenting classes, and monthly field visits. This is not just a slap on the wrist, it's a structured plan for rehabilitation. Deferred adjudication means if she completes everything successfully, she avoids a permanent conviction on her record. But one slip, and that deal vanishes. For anyone watching, this is a reminder, probation can be more demanding than jail time. Would you prefer 3 days in jail and a fine, or 3 years of strict probation rules?
200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once that's completed, 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
All right, what do you want? What did you plan to do with the rest of your life? Do you like bartending? Do you
No.
plan on, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm a real estate license as well. I just haven't used it.
Okay. And then there's 100, I'm going to require anger management. And once that's completed, the remaining 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. And the court will show that the restitution amount of $6,292.70 has been paid in full. We can go off the record. So I put you down for 3 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early, I'll consider early termination. Whether you're on for the full 3 years or not is completely up to you and your actions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, make better choices. You got children to consider, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2025 CR 0000487.
And just like that, we transition into a brand new case. Alyssa Gonzalez, facing charges for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, a state jail felony. Notice the shift. Samantha's case was emotionally driven, tied to relationships. But Alyssa's is different, a straight-up property crime. The stakes here include possible prison time and a hefty fine. The defense strategy. Emphasize her participation in rehabilitation programs like MRT, moral recognition therapy, to show she's working on her decision-making. But will the judge buy it? Stick around, because this exchange gets tense.
State versus Alyssa Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Ms. Gonzalez.
And are you Ms. Gonzalez? All right, did you understand in count 2, you're charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. In reference to Ms. Gonzalez, I had the chance to speak with her regarding the offenses that she had picked up. And I know that the court maybe has some concerns as to the questionable thinking. My client has notified me at the jail that she has been getting MRT, moral recognition therapy treatments, in terms of addressing some of the questionable decisions she has made that led her to being here in front of the court today, Judge. In light of that, she is willing to undergo at the state jail classes, as well as vocation, as well as substance use, to address some of those issues and hopefully continue with the MRT there at state jail. We're asking the judge, in light of that, her eagerness to do that, if she can be presumptively entitled to diligent participation credit, also known as the 80-20 rule. in light of the fact that she wants to make those changes and continue to address those changes in thinking.
All right, how old are you?
32.
All right, why don't you
This is a moment that makes many viewers shake their heads. Alyssa is 32, yet the judge points out she still blames the crowd she was hanging out with. That excuse doesn't fly at this age. From a legal perspective, judges look for accountability. Passing blame suggests the defendant hasn't truly learned from past mistakes. And in sentencing, mindset matters almost as much as the crime itself. Here's the real takeaway: excuses are poison in the courtroom. What do you think? Is Alyssa just trying to minimize responsibility, or is she genuinely stuck in bad influences?
know right from wrong? I mean, it would seem that people would know. Hey, you're not supposed to steal a car. Why do you need a class to tell you don't steal?
The crowd that I was hanging out with.
I'm sorry, what?
Crowd that I was hanging out with.
The crowd that you were hanging out with, let me just tell you, if they were here, they would say, it's the crowd I'm hanging out with. You're in your 30s. You're not a teenager. So again, that doesn't answer my question. So why do you need a class for somebody to tell you that stealing is wrong? And here you are driving around in a vehicle where the ignition is broken and the steering column is damaged. And you're just riding around in it. And if the police would not have caught you, you'd still be riding around in it. Do you have children? I'm sorry? A son? How old is he?
I have 2 sons.
2 sons. How old are they?
13 and 11.
All right. And you
This hits hard. Alyssa admits she has 2 children, but isn't taking care of them. The judge points out the brutal truth: if her kids had to depend on her, they wouldn't survive. That's a devastating assessment, and one that often sways sentencing. Judges weigh not just the crime, but the ripple effects on family and society. Here, her priorities, stealing cars instead of raising her children, send a damaging message. For the audience, do you think courts should punish parents more harshly when crimes directly impact their ability to raise children?
don't take care of either of them. Somebody else does.
My husband doesn't.
All right. So you don't take care of any of them. Are you paying child support? If they had to depend on you to survive, they would not survive because you're not paying child support. You're just out here stealing vehicles. All right. Court is going to find you guilty.
The sentence: 1 year in state jail, a $2,000 fine, and restitution. Notice the difference from Samantha's case. Alyssa gets no probation, no second chance. Why? Because the judge sees a pattern of poor decisions with no personal accountability. And unlike Samantha, who at least paid restitution up front, Alyssa hasn't demonstrated the same responsibility. This contrast shows how outcomes depend heavily on attitude and effort. The law sets guidelines, but the judge's discretion shapes the final ruling. Do you think Alyssa's sentence was fair compared to Samantha's probation deal?
The court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Taking consideration 2025 CR 000472, there's to be restitution of $800 to Orlando Perez, and I'll order the therapeutic community. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. You need to do better, because right now somebody else is raising your children and you don't have a part in their life whatsoever. And I don't understand why you would need MRT to tell you, I pick up a crime, somebody else is taking care of my children. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
2 cases, 2 very different outcomes. Samantha got probation with conditions designed to help her grow, while Alyssa faced prison time after showing little accountability. Both cases remind us that courtroom decisions aren't just about punishment, they are about responsibility, rehabilitation, and choices. Whether it's learning patience from an orchid or realizing that excuses won't save you in front of a judge, the message is clear: accountability matters. Now, We want to hear from you. Which case shocked you more, and do you think the sentences were fair? If you found this breakdown as eye-opening as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns right here on Courtroom Chronicles.